All right. Howdy, y'all. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Alex Eaton, and I'm your Huckleberry today. If you get that reference, you're one of my favorite people automatically. But I'm the Deputy of Product Marketing here at UserEvidence, and I appreciate the kind words from y'all as well. Extremely excited to be dating y'all today. And just to share a quick intro about who we are and what we're all about here. We help product marketers at the end of the day prove the value of their product, right? In tech right now, it is a crowded market. It can be tough to stand out, to differentiate yourselves. So we help marketers do that, especially customer marketing, by giving them the specific proof points they need, helping them win those markets through, as we talked about, customer evidence. And we'll talk more about that today. We are Jackson-based, so this is a dream come true for us too, right? Western roots. The Wyoming whiskey, by the way, is one of my favorites. It is delicious, so if you partake, feel free. A quick overview before we hop into my chat with Zoe about kind of what our platform does. Essentially, it's a three-part process, right? We collect, we curate, and we share customer evidence, which is everything from your long-form case studies, your short-form testimonials, industry proof points. We also help you create verified ROI statistics that are hard to do on your own. And we help you do that in a way that doesn't take up your entire job, which is one of the big issues, right? Getting caught up in approvals and all of that. So that's a quick overview about what we do. But more importantly, for us today, I'm super excited to have Zoe Hawkins with us from SumoLogic. She is absolutely not the sidekick. She is the sheriff in town of this here event. And I'll go ahead and pass it over to Zoe to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm also like crushing the John Marston theme here for the Red Dead Redemption fans. And I am the sheriff. Normally, I call myself the queen of content. Today, for all of y'all, I'll be the sheriff. I have been in the content game for a long time. I work at SumoLogic, which is a log analytics and security company, cybersecurity company. And I kind of own the entire integrated campaign. So from, product developing something to launching it, to talking about it publicly, to having those customers vouch for it. And, whether it's new customers coming on board because of it, or, customers kind of getting upsold or cross-sold across it. I own that whole life cycle and just love to tell stories and talk to customers and all that good stuff. And excited to be here today in my hat as well, which I did not get on Amazon. This was actually already in my closet. So, just saying.
It's just built in with Zoe. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining today. And just to dive right into it, let's talk a little bit about kind of how we met. But it's not just how SumoLogic and UserEvidence met. It's also leading to what led to a renewal as well, which I think is really important. What is leading to continued success? And, I think Zoe and SumoLogic deal with a lot of what everyone is in tech today, right? Extremely crowded markets. You're trying to stand out. Zoe's covering a ton of ground personally. You can see it by that job title and everything she's talking about doing. There's a lot going on, but there are also needs across the team. So Zoe, could you chat just about a bit about some of these issues that you've dealt with, and then we'll talk through how UserEvidence has helped solve them.
100%. So I work really closely with our manager for customer advocacy. And so she and I, are in lockstep. But often it'll be like, I'll say to her, what's in the pipeline? What are we making for case studies? Or, hey, I need, a customer quote for this blog. Or, our press team will say, we need a customer to vouch for this. Or, so there was just a really disconnected, lots of spreadsheets, lots of different kind of tracking documents where it was like, I think I have a quote. Can I put this on the web? I don't know. Let me go back and forth. So that was one of our challenges. And then also stuff across, even working with our product org, our product team might be like, everybody wants this. And I'm like, who's everybody? Maybe they wanted to have access to customers. And then our customer advocacy team would say, like, stop talking to our customers so much. Like, you're bothering them. We need them for this other advocacy event. So just kind of making sure that people had the right access to the right customers to the right extent and didn't maybe go back to the same 5 people over and over and over again. And then once we had that evidence, making sure that we could share it with everybody, so someone kind of gets that testimonial or we publish a great case study, making sure everyone from sales to customer success to marketing, across the whole org is able to find it and use it and win with it.
Absolutely. I would love to see in the chat if any of y'all have dealt with these similar issues. We see them all the time. And especially you've done all that hard work, you want it to get used. And so what does that look like at the end of the day, and how kind of did our relationship grow? How did this get used? To give a quick a quick overview of the cycle based on, that first slide I had. A lot of what we do is pulling in customer feedback from different sources, right? UserEvidence surveys are a great starting point. Also, we have a Gong integration that goes through call recordings. You can pull in G2 reviews, things like that. And that led to what is now 150 different assets of different types in the SumoLogic library and 193 identified advocates for all these different types of activities as well. So Zoe, could you give a quick overview of kind of the process that led to all of these different assets, and maybe if there's a specific project flow to, in terms of setting a goal, running your survey, and turning that into the end state? A quick walkthrough of what that might look like for y'all.
Sure, I love it. So, what I try and encourage our product marketers to do, we're all on the same team. So my teammates, I encourage them to run one survey, at least one survey per quarter. And so it'll be like, if you know a product is launching, maybe run a survey before and after to kind of gauge customer sentiment, or what they might want or what they need. So an example we did recently was we ran a survey to all of our cybersecurity customers, asking them which threat intelligence feeds, which is basically just a list of known threats that are out there, which feeds they wanted. And I swear the Venn diagram was just like a scatter chart. Like there was no overlap. Everybody wanted something different, which was great, because then we could go back to product and say, hey, this idea you have of bring your own feed, like you could bring whatever feed you want into the platform, like that's been gut checked. Like that's a good idea. This is what we need to focus on. Maybe these are some capabilities that needs to include, all of that goodness. And then we were able to publish some thought leadership ahead of the kind of launch, being like, hey, we ran this survey. People need a lot of different feeds. Like this is why every company's different, every industry is different, and then publish that out as some early thought leadership. And then now kind of we launched yesterday, I think, at RSA, running events all the time. And so now with the launch, in our press release and our other activities, we were able to kind of say like, hey, we have some great customer testimonials. We have some quotes. We even, just adding it out there, like these advocates who raised their hand, they did G2 reviews. They do, they'll speak for us at events. They'll do all sorts of things. So it's just a great way of running the survey and then identifying who in that space is interested in doing more and helping us in any way they can.
Amazing. We love a recent product launch, especially for me as a product marketer.
There you go.
One of the things I love about this story as well is that it's not just about hitting a certain number of case studies in a quarter or something like that by itself, right? It's about actually having strategic impact in the business across different initiatives that are super important, like a major product launch or things like that. And on this next slide, we just want to show a few different styles and types of content that SumoLogic has created with us, from, trends and actual customer research type content you can use in blog posts to, of course, your branded testimonials and verified statistics as well to prove the value, again, of the product. So could you, Zoe, just for a minute, talk about kind of some of the different ways that content gets used across marketing and sales? You kind of mentioned a product launch and supporting that. Are there a couple other ideas you could tell folks about that you've used it for?
Sure. I mean, our social team obviously is always digging around in our asset library. It is just a gold mine for them, keeping with the Wild West vibes. But it is just, they struck gold every time they get in there because they're able to pull in stats, to share these testimonials, and they can't get in trouble. Like if it's in there, if that name is allowed to be shared, it's allowed to be shared. And I think that kind of gives a lot more freedom for the social team to use things, for our web team to kind of embed these things and not worry about if they're allowed to share it, if it's okay, if they have to go double check approvals or things like that. So those are some of the ways that we're using it, and also feeding it back to the team. People get really excited to hear how, customers are perceiving their product area. So, definitely able to kind of feed that back across the whole life cycle. Oh my gosh, 1 minute. Keep going.
Here we go. And so all of that leads really into this impact across the team. And you can see here a Slack message from one of your other team members sharing even some testimonials themselves. And looking into the future, right? Talking about that launch. One thing I really want to note for everyone here is that, Zoe is kind of this center for excellence for all of this, right? Within SumoLogic now. She is able to assist all across the go-to-market motion, whether that's marketing, whether that's sales, with this type of content. And that's really powerful for your place and your value as well, within your role, within your team, and showing what customer marketing can do. So I love this 2025 goal as well, because I think a lot of people are underestimating how many stories they really can tell as well in the specific questions they can answer. So any specific comments here as we finish up, Zoe, on what you're looking towards in the future based on what you've been able to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it best with the center of excellence. We are trying to be the source of truth for the acquire, retain, expand kind of model with our customers, and being able to tell their stories and make them the heroes makes everybody else more excited to work with us. And so, yeah, I think the idea that we could tell 100 stories, not just case studies, but also videos, but also, quotes and stats and, all sorts of different things that we can pull in from these surveys. It's magic. It's fantastic. So yeah, super excited for what 2025 holds.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Zoe. No snake oil here, folks. And if you do want to see it, head to our demo ranch. I'll leave it at that. We do show the product in depth. You can see for yourself, on brand, ready for you to check out. Lots of new stuff coming. That's it for us. Thank you so much, Zoe, and thank y'all.